And welcome back. The community of Whitehaven is coming together for a week-long event celebrating community pride and businesses. It all kicks off this weekend with a community health and resource fair. Here to talk more about the celebration are some of the organizers behind the event. Please welcome City Councilwoman Pearl Eva Walker and the Reverend Dr. Earl Fisher, the senior pastor of Abyssinian Baptist Church. Welcome both to 3 at 3. Glad to see you. How's everybody doing?
Thank you. I'm doing wonderful.
Let's talk about this first and foremost, this big anniversary coming up with this gentleman's church that you also attend.
So pray for me.
So what's going on there?
So this weekend is the 20th anniversary of Abyssinian Baptist Church on Mill Branch, and this is our wonderful pastor, as you've already stated.
Right.
Reverend Earl Fisher, and I'll let him tell you about what all's going on.
So, Dr. Fisher, I'm hearing the words liberation, love, and legacy.
Yeah, especially that. I mean, we live in a anti-church environment, actually, and a lot of churches, even in Whitehaven, even in Memphis, all around the country, have been boarding up over the last several years. So we're fortunate to be able to celebrate 2 decades of ministry. I've been at Abyssinian for 14 years, and so, you know, we took some time to kind of hallmark this and celebrate not only what we have been, but what we hope to become over the next 20 years.
How does that celebration continue, especially when it also involves our health, especially in our community? What's going on there?
So there are actually 3 days of activities. Friday night, we're going to have a banquet at Southwest Community College, and our guest speaker will be State Representative Justin J. Pearson. Entertainment by Tanya Dyson, one of our local favorites. But and of course on Sunday we're going to have an amazing worship service. But on Saturday we're going to have a health and wellness fair, and that's one of the things that I do like about Abyssinia. I've been a member for a while, and Pastor, he ministers to the entire person, to the entire community. So this is just a great way to get the week started off, because our health is our wealth as well.
What does this also say, Doctor, about Whitehaven as a community as a whole? What do you see as being some of the issues of not only that community, but they also, I guess Whitehaven would be a microcosm of the entire city?
Yeah, absolutely that. And being that we have such a dense black population in Blackhaven/Whitehaven, I think it's important for us to ensure that those people who are dealing with all kind of health disparities and the social determinants of health got access to institutions and organizations and individuals that can help provide them with some information and some services, especially in a climate where we know people are on the verge of losing access to health care because of what's been happening in Nashville and what's been happening in D.C. So on Saturday from 10 to 2, we'll be at Abyssinian for our 2nd annual health fair. Last year was a wonderful event. We had over 100 people who registered and participated. We had, I think, 14 or 15 vendors last year, and we got 18 vendors and counting this year. And so we just encouraging people to come out. Y'all did a story on it over the weekend, and so I know people can go to your website and click the link to register.
Councilwoman, when it comes to a safety net being needed these days, so many families obviously are hurting. They are seeking, you know, their benefits, their health benefits that they've gone without. Fewer paychecks have been coming in recently. How do you feel the role of the church plays in this as well?
I think that the role of the church is that they should be in touch with the community, as our church is, and be about the business of disseminating information, as our church does, and supporting wherever possible. So everyone can't do everything or the same thing, but do what you can.
Dr. Fisher?
I build on that, because part of what's happening this weekend, and I know Councilwoman can appreciate this, is the overlap between our celebration and the I Love Whitehaven Week. And so on Saturday, it's kind of also the kickoff for I Love Whitehaven Week. And she told me that they were coming to Abyssinian Sunday too. So I'll hold them.
She told you.
Yeah,
I picked up on that.
I'll hold them to that. But just to talk about how our church connects with organizations in the area that are doing some good work and some impactful work. And we are mindful that the church cannot be all things to all people, but we should do what we can, while we can, and with whom we can. So this is an opportunity for people to support Abyssinian and the I Love Whitehaven Week.
Another issue I want to talk with you both about, we just addressed somewhat about the Memphis Safe Task Force. And Dr. Fisher, I know you've been very outspoken. You've written even recently, when the city claims safety but tramples the Constitution, nobody wins. Why do you say that?
Yeah, because in part what you have happening is people who are being racially profiled, people who are being stigmatized through broken windows policing. And I think in some instances you have a lot of stat stuffing going on when you start talking about the number of arrests. And if we don't disaggregate that data, it's hard for us to see how people's First and Fourth Amendment rights are being trampled on in the name of public safety. So I think it's important for us to, yes, do what we can to ensure the safety of the community, but also not trample on the rights of people who are not involved in any kind of violent crime.
But you'll have some people saying, Councilwoman, the numbers are dropping, crime is going down. Do you see this as an injustice, or how do you see it? Is there a balance here?
An injustice as it relates to?
The community as a whole, those people who are being arrested, are they being unfairly arrested? Are they being targeted? How do you see it?
The numbers are down. The numbers were down before they got here. A lot of people don't believe that, but the numbers are down. We have the data to show that, and the ways, the strategies that MPD has gone about reducing those numbers. And in terms of people being treated unfairly, yes, there are reports. Yes, I have seen videos, and that is unfortunate. And hopefully we won't see, hopefully that will diminish, you know, starting immediately. So that's the unfortunate part about it. But yes, they're reporting that the crime is down, but as he stated about aggregating the numbers, so that's still not clear.
So, Dr. Fisher, one last word here very quickly. Where do we go from here? What do you hope happens next, either with the task force or after it leaves?
Well, the connection I would draw with the task force situation and some of what we're trying to celebrate at Abyssinian is that we are committed to telling the truth. And so hopefully, as much as we are talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the black faith community in Abyssinian, or what is happening in Whitehaven, the great things, and then some of the challenges, I think it's important for us to tell the truth about what's happening to the task force. Yes, there are some things that we can look at and say this is valuable in terms of some of the warrants that have been executed. Your earlier segment talking about some of the children, but at the end of the day, we have to tell the full truth about what's happening.
All right. We appreciate you both being here. Thank you very much.
Okay, 9 days of activities.
We got it. We put it on the screen.
Okay, you put it on the screen.
It's there.
Okay.
All right.